Hi there, my name is Dr. Faustin. I'm a resident in the United States of America doing internal medicine right now. And I'm going to talk about vaccine. So a vaccine is a foreign body, such as a virus or a bacteria or anything like that, that we prepare in the laboratory and we give it to a human or an animal. And that will create what we call an immune response to that certain bacteria or virus. So what happens is, when we give it, the person will end up becoming sensitive to that bacteria. Next time, the bacteria will not attack him. When the bacteria attack him, the person will not be sick or that much sick. For simplicity, I'm just going to divide it into 3 types. So we have 3 types, although we have more, but I'm going to divide it into 3 only. There is what we call a live attenuated vaccine. Those are the vaccines where the virus or the bacteria is not completely killed. It can still divide and replicate. However, it's not strong enough. It's just like you take a strong human, you break his leg, his hands. They can replicate, but they cannot make they cannot make themselves stronger again. I don't know if that makes sense. And then the second type, the first type, you can have one example like an MMR vaccine. I'm sure we all know what is an MMR vaccine. The second type is what we call a killed vaccine, a vaccine which is completely killed, as the name implies. So what happened is we actually kill the vaccine and we give it to the human. And when we give to the human, there is no side effect, such as the human ending up having to develop the disease or something like that. No. And then a third type is what we call a subunit vaccine. And those are the type where we just take a part of the bacteria, such as a protein, the membrane or something like that, and we give it to the human. An example would be HBV, HPV. Those are the type of vaccine. So thank you so much for tuning in, and may God bless you.
Hi, Dr. Annan of the International Christian Medical Fellowship here. Today we're talking about vaccination or immunization. My other colleague already defined that. Now we're talking about the WHO recommended or mandatory vaccination. Recently, we all had to take the compulsory or mandatory vaccination against the COVID-19 virus. Vaccinations are to eradicate diseases in a specific country. Usually, they are geared towards childhood killer diseases such as the tuberculosis, tetanus, measles, pertussis, poliomyelitis, and diphtheria. However, we have what we call the expanded program on immunization, which are country dependent and also based on the prevalence of diseases in a specific country. Therefore, immunization or vaccinations such as the BCG for tuberculosis, the diphtheria, Haemophilus influenza type B, hepatitis B, the Japanese encephalitis, measles, mumps, pertussis, pneumococcal poliomyelitis, rubella, rotavirus, tetanus, and yellow fever are usually the common ones we see on the schedule. Vaccines are safe. We should take them to protect ourselves and protect others. Shalom.
Hi, hello, Dr. Bala here. I'm Dr. Augustine K. Bala from the International Christian Medical Fellowship, and we are excited to be back again with our medical reality talk show Awareness. This month, we're talking about vaccination. I'm joining my colleagues who are talking about different aspects of vaccine. I'm going to be talking about misconceptions about vaccine. There are a lot and thousands of misconceptions that have existed decades ago, from both from even the scientific world to political, religious. There are a lot of misconceptions about vaccine. But today, in fact, this month we're going to have a whole talk show to just talk about the misconception of vaccine. But today, part of the awareness, I'm going to mention 3 key most common misconceptions about vaccine as we create awareness about vaccination. Number 1, a lot of people say that vaccine is business, but I think that a lot of money could be generated by health institutions and public health institutions if we were going to be treating a disease. More money is generated from treating compared to prevention. So if it is because of business, then people will go much more for treatment instead of using vaccine for prevention. Second misconception is that a lot of people think that more vaccinated people actually do get infected with the disease more than unvaccinated people. So vaccine is useless if I'm going to take a vaccine and still get infected. Why should I take a vaccine? But no, I think in a much that no vaccine is 100% 100% effective. There are a lot of people do go for vaccine, so there are people who will get vaccinated but that may still get infected. But when you compare that in terms of the percentage of vaccinated people and non-vaccinated people, vaccine is quite effective. Let's take for example, if you have a vaccine with efficacy of 98%, and you have a population of 500 people and 490 people got vaccinated. If there is a disease outbreak, let's say out of the 500, 10 people did not get vaccinated, 490 got vaccinated out of the 500. So when there is a disease outbreak, the 10 non-vaccinated or unvaccinated will automatically get infected out of the 490 that got vaccinated. Possibility that if we consider the vaccine to be 98% efficacy, 10% out of the 490 will get infected. But when we're looking at the infected people of 20 people, we may say, well, 10 people were vaccinated, 10 vaccinated people got infected, 10 non-vaccinated people got infected. But the percentage of the vaccinated people that got infected was just 2%, but the non-vaccinated people is 100%. So vaccine is very, very safe and preventive and has effectiveness. So if you are not vaccinated, you are 100% at risk of getting infected when a disease outbreak, especially for that particular disease. Lastly, a lot of people say natural immunity is better than the vaccine. But well, if you wait to get infected so you can build natural immunity, the risk, the complications, even mortality that could result from that is far higher or outweigh vaccine. If you are vaccinated, you stand much more better position having immunity from just the vaccine compared to waiting to get infected and get sick to build immunity. So these are just three major ones, but there are thousands and many other misconceptions about vaccine. But for today, part of this awareness, I just wanted to share these three ones. So vaccine is safe. Get vaccinated. Allow your children to get vaccinated for whatever disease that vaccine is available for. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Victoria Maniela and I am a member of the Icmfel, which stands for the International Christian Medical Fellowship, and today I'm here to talk about why is there no vaccine for malaria? Why is there no cure for malaria? Why is it we just can't catch a break against this parasite? So as we know, malaria is caused by the parasite Plasmodium falciparum, which is carried by the Anopheles mosquito. And you might wonder, like, why are there no vaccines? What are the scientists up to? Like, why are we just still dealing with this parasite and what it's causing all these deaths and so much havoc in the world? Well, malaria actually has a very complex life cycle. I actually do not understand the entirety of the immune response that it causes in our bodies, but actually there are two vaccines that are right now being under trials for this malaria vaccine, and the first one is called the RTS vaccine. And actually, as it turns out, this vaccine took 30 years to be developed, and it's not the only first malaria vaccine that's been made out there. And actually, it is the first vaccine for any parasitic disease, because as you don't know, malaria is caused by a parasite, not a virus, not a bacteria, but a parasite. So let's talk a little bit about this RTS vaccine. So the RTS vaccine was approved by WHO in 2021. If I'm not mistaken, and actually it was derived from a fusion protein recombinant based on some antigen on the 4 amino acids from the P-falciparum sporozoites. Sporozoites is part of the life cycle of malaria. I won't get into that, but to summarize, that phase 3 trial of this vaccine did show there was partial protection against malaria in children aged 5 to 17 months, but there was not much significancy against the severe malaria in the 6 to 12 age group. Actually, even with the booster, there was nothing much. And the second vaccine is called the R21MM vaccine. So this vaccine, they did try a phase 2 trial in 2 groups. They had 450 children. They had 2 groups. One group received 3 vaccine shots, and the other received a rabies vaccine. It was like a placebo, you might call it. And then they found that between these 2 groups, there was actually after 6 months, they found a 74% efficacy. But this was because they did give this vaccine prior to the start of the malaria season, and there were very few cases of malaria after the vaccine as well. So as we can see right now, that these 2 vaccines are currently in the trials, phase 2, phase 3 trials, and they're still trying to find